If you want to set up an online store of some sort and you're looking for an easy way to do so that doesn't involve you constructing an entire store from scratch, one solution that you should look into is Ecwid. Ecwid is a shopping cart platform that provides a fully featured interface for creating a store complete with products, product categories, shipping methods, payment integration, transaction handling, and everything else you need to get an e-commerce store up and running. It's also designed to be very easy to create and implement on your website, even if you're not particularly technically inclined. Once you set up your store on Ecwid, embedding that store on your site can be as easy as copying some code and pasting it onto a web page, similar to how you would embed something like a YouTube video. Another awesome thing about Ecwid is that at the base account level, it's totally free. You don't have to pay anything to create and use an Ecwid store, although there are various paid packages that provide some really useful features. On certain paid plans, you gain access to features like inventory management, wholesale pricing groups, automatic tax calculation, and integration with point-of-sale services such as Square. Ecwid also has a WordPress plugin, a Drupal module, and a Joomla plugin if you want to run your Ecwid store on a site built with one of those content management systems. In this tutorial, we're going to walk through the basics of getting a store set up using the Ecwid platform. If you use WordPress, Ecwid has a fantastic plugin to incorporate your Ecwid store into your WordPress site. So here's a website that I've built for my store, using WordPress of course, and if you're interested, I'm using the Lantano theme. So I have my site set up, just a basic welcome page and a blog page, kind of a fake blog page for now, for the test site. If I want to incorporate my Ecwid store into this site, first we need to, of course, go to the back end of the site, and then we're going to go to Plugins, and click Add New. We're going to do a quick keyword search for Ecwid, and it should be the first thing that pops up. Ecwid Ecommerce Shopping Cart is what we're looking for. Then, just as you would with any plugin, click Install Now. And then activate. Greetings, your Ecwid plugin is now active. We can see down here, it's listed along with our other plugins. Let's go ahead and set up our Ecwid store. If you miss this up here, or if you close this without clicking Setup, that's fine. You can click Setup down here as well, where it's listed with the others. Either way, we'll click Setup, and we want to connect our store to this WordPress site. We'll click Connect. Then it's just going to tell you basically that it's going to incorporate all of your store's information into this website. Go ahead and click Accept. And during that last part of the process, you may have to log in if you're not already logged into Ecwid. And now you can see we have our Ecwid dashboard accessible directly from the back end of our WordPress site. This, of course, looks exactly like it did when we were building our site on Ecwid. But of course, we're on our WordPress site right now. To get to this area, as you can see over here, right under Dashboard, you'll have the Ecwid Store option. And from now on, if we want to, we can just manage everything from here. We also have sales, products, and all of that. So that's great, but where is the store on our website? Well, let's go and visit our homepage. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Notice we have a few things right off the bat. We have a link for our store in our menu. And over in our sidebar, we have a shopping bag link. Now, depending on your theme and various other things, you may not see this automatically, but that's fine if you don't. Don't worry about it. We're going to take a look at how to add or remove this, as well as other widgets that you can put in the sidebar in just a minute. But for now, notice that we have our store here. We can click Store, and it takes us directly to our Ecwid store. We can click on desserts, for instance, and view those things. Note that we have breadcrumb style links as we go into categories and view items in those categories. We can go all the way back to the store from here, or we can go back just one level to desserts. We also have subcategory dropdowns. And note that the store is located at your domain/ store. This other stuff right here is because we're on a specific page, but if you just go to your domain/store, that's the actual direct link to your store page. And you get to edit that, of course. If we go back to the back end and click on pages, then we'll see, of course, all the pages on our website. And now we have store as well. We can edit this. And there are a few things that we can do here. We're going to cover those in a minute. But for now, if we want to edit the path to our store, just as you can with any other page on your WordPress site, up here where it says permalink near the top of the page, if you just click edit, then you can change the path right here. But we're going to keep store because that works just fine. Going back for a second on the front end of our site, you may have noticed that the colors for our links and things like that, as well as our shopping bag widget, match up with the colors on our website or the colors for our theme. That is a really awesome feature that the Ecwid plugin comes with, and it's called Chameleon. Chameleon, aptly named because it adjusts itself to the colors of your website, will do just that. Whatever your theme is, whether it's a theme that you downloaded and installed or a custom theme that you built yourself, Chameleon is a feature that analyzes the colors on your site and tries to apply the appropriate coloring to various things on the actual Ecwid store page, so you don't have to go manually editing CSS to make that happen. In 99% of cases, this works fantastically. There are some times where you may have to do a little tweaking, but this almost always works exactly as it should. Now, if you want to, for whatever reason, disable Chameleon, you can do that. Again, usually there's not a reason you would want to do that, but if you do, then go back to the back end of your website, and for Ecwid Store, you can either hover over it and click Advanced, or click on Ecwid Store and then click Advanced. And we have two options here. One of them is Chameleon Skin. As you can see, it describes basically what I just said. It helps it to match the colors on your site. You can turn that off and then click Save Changes, and then it'll just use its own stock colors. We're not going to go through the process right now of disabling Chameleon, saving our settings, and going and navigating to the store page, but I will show you very quickly what it looks like with Chameleon turned off. Here's our page with Chameleon disabled. Obviously, our theme looks the same, but notice the links in our store, the link for our bag. The shopping bag icon itself is similar, but this is just a stock color. This doesn't match our theme actually. All of these links are just in a blue, and they have a kind of dark turquoise, the same color of this bag, as a background when we hover over the items in our menu. So this is what it looks like with Chameleon turned off. Notice we also have Customer Single Sign-On. Customer Single Sign-On allows customers to log in to your WordPress site and also then be logged in to your Ecwid store automatically as well by logging into your WordPress site. So if on the WordPress site you've built, you have the option for users to create accounts, for instance, then if you turn this on and click Save, then whenever a user logs into your site, Ecwid uses their same user information to log them in to your Ecwid store. And that just makes things a lot easier for customers and a lot less confusing, so they're not logging into two different things. You can imagine that it would be a weird customer experience if someone is logging into your WordPress site and then also, while on your WordPress site, having to log in again to your Ecwid store. That would be off-putting and confusing to a lot of people. So this is another great feature that the Ecwid plugin comes with. As it notes down here, to make sure your customer can actually log into your site and store, make sure you enable registration in the site settings. And that's just a basic WordPress setting. But again, not every WordPress site enables visitors to create their own accounts to sign into the site. If your site does not allow other people to create accounts, then this is irrelevant to you. For those sites that do, though, this is a great feature to have. If we go to Appearance and Widgets, here, of course, is our sidebar. We have our shopping cart widget there, which is this, of course, shopping cart, shopping bag. We have a few alternatives we can use here. Let's say we don't want the shopping cart icon so much. We just want a mini shopping cart link. We take that and drag it over here and click Save. Then go back to our store and refresh the page. Then it will just have a small little text link. So it's kind of just a matter of whether you want it to be simple or a little bit more obvious that there's a shopping cart link over here. Another option is to have a floating shopping cart icon. Let's take a look and see what that is. We have the options for bottom right or top right. What the floating shopping cart is visually it's not going to put it in the sidebar. It's either going to be up here in the top right of the screen or down here at the bottom right of the screen. Let's put it at the top right of the screen, see how that looks. So we'll choose top right and click Save. And you'll notice we don't see anything yet, but once we find something that we want to purchase, we'll go to our desserts and just pick one of these and add it to our bag. Then a little icon pops in the top right corner because that's where we've told it to come in. And it'll stay in the top corner of the screen regardless of whether you scroll up or down. And of course, if we chose bottom right, it would go in the bottom right corner of the screen. From here, we can click on that to view our shopping bag. And if we decide that we didn't want that after all, if we clear our bag, when there's nothing in it, it goes away again. For us, let's go ahead and just stick with the basic shopping cart. Not the mini version, but the regular one that we started off with. There are other widgets we have that we can use for our Ecwid store as well. One of these is recently viewed products. If we put this in here, maybe right beneath the shopping cart. Go back to our website and refresh. So we have recently viewed products here. You haven't viewed any product yet. If we go and view a product, however, then they'll show up in our recently viewed products. Then if we go and view something else, after a second, it'll show up as well. And we have a list of the last few things we have taken a look at. We also have the option to put a basic store page link in our sidebar. I'm not going to worry about demonstrating that, but that would be sort of the alternative to having it in the menu. If we wanted to remove this from the menu, which we'll take a look at how to do in a minute, that's another sort of basic WordPress thing, and put it over here in the sidebar, then we would just drag this store page link widget over to our sidebar. We also have store root categories. We'll put that right above recently viewed products. Go back to our store and refresh. And here we have our categories. And this is good especially for, of course, if you're on the store, you have your categories right here. But maybe if you're on a different page of the site, if you want to make those categories directly accessible, you can do so and have those right here. And you click on one and it'll take you directly to that category page. I'm going to take this off for this site and just keep the shopping cart and the recently viewed products. And of course, notice in your recently viewed product settings, you can change the title just like you can in any widget. You can also change the store link title, which will take you directly to the store, as well as the number of products to show. Finally, we have the Ecwid badge that we can add to show our visitors that we're a proud user of Ecwid. If we put that at the bottom here, notice we have a few options on what to make this look like. So if we select this one, proud user of Ecwid, and click Save, then go back to our site and refresh once again, then that'll show up wherever we tell it to show up. This can be good if you want to make sure your visitors know that your store is built on a reliable platform. So those are the things we can do with the widgets. Those are the widget options that the Ecwid plugin provides. Let's go back to our backend once again and go to Pages. And we're going to click to edit the store page. Notice we have an Edit Store button here and an Edit Appearance button down here. These both do the same things. So click on either one of them and you'll get a little pop-up that looks like this. These are things that will show up on the actual store page. So in the store elements part of this pop-up, we have show categories checked already. Let's just check all of these to see exactly how they show up on our store page. So we have show search, show mini cart, show categories. Now, of course, in our case, we wouldn't actually want to use the mini cart because we already have the cart widget, but let's just keep it clicked for now to take a look at how it shows up on the store page. So if we select all of these and click update, then it probably doesn't hurt to go ahead and update the page itself once again. And if we go back to our site and refresh again, now we have this shopping bag link within the actual store page. Of course, we already had our categories here, and we can search products as well. So if we type in chocolate and click search, then we get all of the items that show up for that search. Let's go back to our back end and click edit appearance once again. I'm going to keep the categories in the search, but remove the mini cart because once again, we already have the shopping cart button in our sidebar right now. We'll update that. And let's go back to edit appearance one more time. Notice over here in this sidebar, we have another set of options. If we click on appearance, then there are a couple things we can do here. Category shown by default. We can choose one of these to be the default page that shows up when we go to our store. Now, in most cases, you're probably just going to want to stick with store root category, which shows of course, the root page of your store and it doesn't zero in on any particular category. But the option is here if you want to show desserts, for instance, first thing when someone clicks to view your store. Number of categories per row, that's for grid view. We can change this so there will be 4 across or 5 or 2 or however we want that to work. And then we can change the default view modes for product pages or for search results. One of the things that I like to do sometimes is use the list view for search results. I do like to keep grid for the basic product pages, but let's just temporarily change this to table to get an idea of what it looks like. So we're going to do table for product pages and list for search results. Click update and update. Go back to our store and let's start all the way back at the beginning and just click on store. So first let's go to desserts. This is what table view looks like. This can be really useful in some cases, but for a basic store browsing interface, you can see why I prefer grid view. You don't get a whole lot of information here. You get enough information to know what you're looking at and how much it costs and everything, but it's always good to have a nice big picture of what you're buying. That's why I prefer grid view. Now for the search, we'll type in chocolate again. I kind of prefer this, the type of format that people expect in a lot of cases when they're performing a search. It's kind of more like you're doing a search on Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever, where it shows everything taking up one full row horizontally with the name, the basic information, a little thumbnail picture on the side, and then of course they can click on it to view the full thing. This is of course going to vary based on your preferences, based on your website, based on what you think your users are going to prefer. But again, I like this for search results, and I prefer grid for the actual store. So we'll go back to our backend one last time, click Edit Appearance, click on Appearance, and for default view on product pages, we'll change this back to grid. We'll keep search results as list, update, update. A couple final quick things. If we go to Appearance and Menus, here is where we have our store listed in our menu. We can change the title of that if we want. Or if we want to, we can remove it altogether and use the store link for the sidebar. I like it to be in the menu, especially if this is a website for the store. That's kind of the most obvious place for it to be. Of course, that's going to depend on your situation, but I always like to keep the store in the menu. And of course, if you're used to using WordPress, you'll know that you can drag it around and put it wherever. We could put this here. I'm going to put it right in between home and blog. That should update on its own, but I always like to click Save Menu just for good measure. And finally, if you want to make your store your homepage, that's just a matter of changing a few settings in WordPress. This is not an Ecwid specific thing, but it is something that you may want to know how to do. So to do that, it's pretty easy. We're going to go to Appearance and Customize. Then down here, we'll select Static Front Page. Make sure where it says Front Page Displays, you have a static page selected. Then you're going to click here where it says Front Page, and it'll have a list of the pages on your site. We're going to go with, of course, Store. Now it's showing us that this is what our homepage is going to look like. This is what people will see if they go just directly to our domain. Click Save and Publish. And now, if we were to go just to our domain, you'll see that it takes them directly to the store. We might want to even go to the menu and change this to Home, or better yet, maybe even just remove Home so it's clear that they have Store with the drop-down menu, and obviously they'll know that they're on the home page. And that's how you'll make it to where your store is the homepage for anyone visiting your domain directly and not typing in /anything. So now you know, if you have a WordPress site that you want to integrate your Ecwid store into, now you know how to do that very smoothly, and you have an idea of the options you have to play around with and customize it to fit your needs. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel right now before you do anything else. Click on the subscribe button. We also want to hear from you. Do you have any questions? Leave a comment below this video. We try to answer every question.